good morning and welcome to each and every one of you joining us for the Gallop Preview Show. This is recorded early doors on Monday morning for the Tuesday meeting, which takes place at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. And take note, it's a 7-race program. So we do have Graham Hawkins on the line. Welcome, Graham. How are you doing?
All good, thank you, Sheldon. Fresh off a terrific day's racing at Hollywoodbets Greyville Super Sunday. The Hong Kong Jockey Club World Pool race date was fantastic, but now it's back to the bread and butter stuff at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. And the first race is a juvenile plate over 1,200 meters. And as you mentioned, it's a 7-race card. So the first race off at 1:05 is the first leg of the bipot, as well as the first leg of the place accumulator.
Right, let's kick off straight with race number 1, and just looking at the betting activity, number 7, Saudi Cat for the Verners, Gavin Arena and Vaughan Marshall, opened up 18 to 10. The money is absolutely flooded down to 7 to 10, Graham. Number 3, All the Rage, has gone 22 to 10, and number 2 is at 6 to 1. That is Demanding Dave, 12 to 1 and better. I can see why the money's come for number 7, Saudi Cat. He looks a racehorse.
He does look a racehorse. He was very impressive on debut when he won comfortably by more than 2 lengths. That form has been franked with a direct winner out of that line. And Saudi Cat has been backed as if the result is known. And he comes up against 2 decent sorts in the form of number 2, Demanding Dave, and number 3, All the Rage. All the Rage certainly has a terrific form. He also won on debut and then followed that up with 2 placings behind decent sorts in the form of Dream World and Roland Garros. So he's well above average. Number 3, All the Rage. There shouldn't be too much to choose at these weights between numbers 2, Demanding Dave, and 3, All the Rage on past form, particularly now that Demanding Dave is in receipt of 3 kilograms. But we haven't seen Demanding Dave since the 4th of May. But it's all about number 7, Saudi Cat. He was impressive when unfancied, one has to say, on debut. Drifted in the market from 4 to 1 out 10 to 1, but dominated the race and pulled clear to win as he liked. Now the money is pouring on. The money speaks volumes, and certainly number 7, Saudi Cat, presents as the one to beat, and a pretty safe bipot and place accumulator banker in race 1.
Right, let's move along to race number 2, and comparing the first race to the second race, you've gone with the 3 runners here, numbers 2, 3 and 7. Number 2, Swift Serenity, is currently at 12 to 10. Number 7, Penny's Choice, at 22 to 10. And then number 9, Lay Delay, from 6 to 1, has shortened slightly, 11 to 2. And number 3, Heritage Ridge, is at 6 to 1. 8 to 1 and better the rest. Which would be your first selection in the second race of the 3, Graham?
I do think that obviously number 2, Swift Serenity, brings the best form into the race. Callan Murray riding for the Harold Crawford-Michelle Ricks combination. But that form doesn't really jump out at you. I mean, it is vulnerable. She is vulnerable. She's pretty short in the market. I've covered her in the place accumulator with numbers 3, Heritage Ridge, and 7, Penny's Choice, as you've mentioned. Number 7, Penny's Choice, should be held comfortably by Swift Serenity on the form behind between the lines. But I think there's more to come from this daughter of Vercingetorix. She wears blinkers for the first time. Gavin Larena takes the ride. So expect a great deal of improvement from number 7, Penny's Choice. Lay Delay, number 9, is obviously the unknown quantity. Heritage Ridge has had many, many opportunities. She's had 12 starts. She's been placed in 6 of those. She reverts to the minimum trip, and that arguably is the right move for number 3, Heritage Ridge. If you go back to her last 2 runs over 1,000 meters, she ran 2nd, close up behind Sugar Bush, and 3rd, close up behind Give Me a Thrill. So number 3, Heritage Ridge, does appear to show her best form over the minimum trip. I might have gone for a little bit of overkill in the permutation here. Swift Serenity, definitely the one to beat. But numbers 3, Heritage Ridge, and 7, Penny's Choice, do warrant respect. Number 4, Alessia Asherville, She is the half-sister to Main Defender. She's yet to actually find that out because she's very, very moderate, but could fill one of the back end of trifecta quartet positions. So I think we're pretty safe in this leg of the place accumulator. The pick 6, I would certainly include all of numbers 2 Swift, Serenity, 3 Heritage Ridge, and 7 Penny's Choice. From pick 6 perspective, we don't really have to worry about number 9 Lay Delay because of the first timer rule. And again, just a reminder, yes, race 2 being a 7-race card, race 2 off at 13.40, maiden plate fillies and mares over 1,000 metres is the first leg of the pick 6. So you've got to get your exotic bets on early. Number 2 Swift, Serenity, clearly the one to beat, but I don't think that she's home and host.
Then we'll move along to race number 3 and year number 2, Sierra Sagrada. That is your 9 to 10 favourite, opened up even money, so slight support. Looking at the first race, if that favourite has to win with Gavin Lorena and Vaughan Marshall, I think number 2, Sierra Sagrada, could start a bit shorter, Graham.
I would think so, probably stable doubles and so on. And number 2, Sierra Sagrada, was perhaps a little unlucky to be beaten a half a length by Trickus last time out. Has had plenty of experience, has had 3 runs around the turn, steps up from the 1,400 to the 1,500 metre mark. And number 2, Sierra Sagrada, is going to take a lot of beating, but I wouldn't discount the fact that number 3, Red Wave, has got a lot of improvement to come. The 2-year-old son of Eric the Red has had 2 runs up the straight over 1,200 and 1,000 metres. It was a good run behind 3 Tigers. 3 Tigers is well above the average, although comfortably beaten. What is interesting, of course, is that number 3, Red Wave, now steps up in trip to 1,500 metres, and that could unlock a lot of improvement. So I don't think that number 2, Sierra Sagrada, is a banker in the major exotics, certainly in the place accumulator and the bipod perhaps, but I think from a jackpot and a pick 6 perspective, you've got to show a measure of respect to number 3, Red Wave, and include the son of Eric the Red. Richard Faree teams up with Justin Snaith. And then there's a first time in the race, number 6, Look Ahead. Justin Snaith describes him as a nice type that could surprise and is a must, I guess, for trifecta and quartet calculations. Number 1, Get Up and Go, is fairly short in the market, did run 3rd a long time ago on debut, and then followed up with 2 indifferent runs. But I do expect that number 1, Get Up and Go, can improve. But clearly the stable companion, number 2, Sierra Sagrada, is the right one from the Vaughan Marshall yard.
Next up will be race number 4, and when looking at race number 4, you've gone with numbers 1 and 5. Looking at number 1, Surge of Power, Gavin Lorena, an important booking there for Greg Enyon, and was quite impressive after the layoff, Graham. He came back from a bit of a break, and he came through to win, so should come on nicely from that victory.
Yeah, I think he's now where he ought to be in the handicap. You know, when he ran 4th in the Langerman a long time ago behind 8 on 18, the handicap has bumped him up to a 103. And off that mark, he was just simply not competitive. But coming all the way back last time out to an 82 rating, he beat Circumbendimus. We were actually in his camp that day at a big price, and he delivered, which was nice. He's only gone up £2 for that to an 84, so he's got to be competitive again. But clearly this is a step up in class. The average merit rating of his last win was 77. He jumps up to an average merit rating of 90. So he's going to have to take another step forward, number 1, Surge of Power. But Greg Enyon has always held him in high regard. The Greg Enyon stable is back in full form. Late December was a very impressive winner recently for the stable. So I'm expecting Surge of Power to continue to improve, but he's not going to have matters all his own way. It's a small field. There appear to be 4 with some claims. Number 5, Gimme Lightning. He's clearly very much at home over track and trip. He comes down in class. Last time the average merit rating was 102, so he's coming down in class quite significantly, while Surge of Power goes up in class, and that makes for an interesting contest between numbers 1, Surge of Power, and 5, Gimme Lightning. 4, Scottish Kestra, and 2nd over 1,400 metres behind Boogified last time out. Richard Faree retains the ride. He steps back in trip, but he did win his maiden over 1,200 meters when beating Superhero by more than 7 lengths. Admittedly, that wasn't a very deep race, and maybe the winning margin flattered number 4 Scottish Kiss, because he has struggled somewhat since, until his most recent run when suddenly returning to form and running second. We'll have to see how he goes over 1,200 meters, but clearly he ought to be competitive. And then number 3 Mauritius Kestrel. Don't quite know what to make of number 3 Mauritius Kestrel. Interestingly, the tongue tie goes on for the first time. Craig Zaki teams up with Adam Marcus. He's been struggling to work out this 3-year-old son of Vercingetorix, but he could certainly pop up in a race of this nature. I'm marginally in the camp of number 1 Surge of Power, because he is in receipt of 6 kilograms from number 5 Gimme Lightning. But bear in mind that Surge of Power goes up in class, whereas Gimme Lightning comes down in class. So you've got to have a huge respect for number 5 Gimme Lightning. And maybe number 4 Scottish Kiss, now that he's found a bit of form last time out, went second to Boogie Fight, maybe now his confidence is back and he'll run another very good race.
That'll string us along to race number 5, which is the Racing Club Class 5, 1,100 meters. And just looking at the benchmark is a 66. And I see you going with the higher numbers here, Graham, numbers 8, 9, and 11. So let's start off with number 8, Black Path. Is he your first selection or your second or third?
I think my first selection might well be the maiden, number 11, Rosa Azuria. This is a very open race. I know there's a short price favourite in the race, and we'll come back to that in a moment. But this is a Class 5 for fillies and mares over 1,100 metres. It's the first leg of the final pick 3. They're number with winning claims, but the form is not strong. 8 Black Path. There is an additional form line raced over the weekend, when third over 1,400 metres behind I'm the Buzz. Now this is a similar sort of race, got 52.5 on her back, and she's clearly got to be competitive because she strips very fit. She raced on the 22nd of July, she raced on the 26th of July, and yes, she is back for a third run pretty much in a week. So number 8, Black Path, is going to lack nothing in the fitness department. And this is the type of race where she could be effective. It's an average merit rating 64. She's holding form quite nicely. But clearly, as a one-time winner from 43 starts, I don't have to tell you that she's limited. But that's what these Class 5 races are for, these limited handicappers. And with only 52.5 on her back, she's got to be somewhat competitive. Dumoria is your ruling favourite, and I think he's favourite at that short price because there's such a dearth of form to go around her. Dumoria won third up. She beat Chickasaw. Chickasaw did absolutely nothing for that form line over the weekend. She was quite disappointing, was Chickasaw. So quite how strong that form is, I'm not certain, but Dumoria ought to have plenty of scope for further improvement. There's a 2-year-old in this Class 5. She's been set to carry 59.5. So skinny in the market for me. She might well get the job done, and she might well get the job done in comfortable fashion. But I'm not prepared to take those kind of odds for a 2-year-old in Class 5 with 59.5. I know they turned 3 in a week's time, but the reality is she's still got a lot of weight to give away to some horses who've got a little bit of form. 11, Rosa Azuria. We've seen maidens win in Class 5. She's knocking at the door. She ran second behind Over the Atlantic over 1,000 metres last time out. Callan Murray again in town to ride for the Harold Crawford-Michelle Ricks combination. She should be competitive, but there's so many with chances. One of your old favourites, Easy Money. I think she's definitely better over the minimum trip, but that's not to say she wouldn't get home over this extra 100 metres in a penultimate start over 1,200. In fact, she ran a very good second behind Electromagnetism. The apprentice claims 4, reducing the weight she has to shoulder to 58. There's been a nibble in the Antibos market for number 5, Hear My Voice. There's been some long shot support for number 5, Hear My Voice. The recent form doesn't inspire too much confidence, but can she bounce back in a race of this nature? Absolutely. She is a 4-time winner after all. And then number 1, Golden Ideal, has some form to recommend. I think I'm giving up on number 7, Golden Tatiana Sheldon. Too many excuses. We offer excuses every time she runs. Gavin Lorena rides her for the first time, so that's certainly a plus. Would I be absolutely surprised if number 7, Golden Tatiana, suddenly came back to winning form? No, but we've been following her quite closely in recent weeks and months, and she's failed to deliver. So I'm giving up on number 7, Golden Tatiana. So number 9, Dumoria. deserves to be the first choice, deserves to be the favourite, but the form lines are suspect, and I wouldn't make her a good thing. She might well in the end win comfortably. Black Path number 8 and Rosa Aziria for me, I'm expecting to run forward races, but there's every potential for an upset result here.
Right, let's move on to the penultimate race of the afternoon, and that is race number 6. And I can tell you there's been a lot of activity in the market here. Number 3, King's Quest, from 7 to 2 down 28 to 10. Number 2, Afrika's gone 9 to 2. There's been money for number 5, Show Off, from 7 to 1 down 5 to 1. Number 6, Belcanto Dream, from 5 to 1 out 6 to 1, along with number 9, Master of Paris, and then it's 8 to 1 and Better the Rest. Graham, I'm going to kick off with number 1, My Bestie. This is my roughie in the race at 20 to 1. I was on this horse last time out, and there was just no luck in the running. So I think this horse is going to start a lot shorter, and with a little bit of luck in the running, I think this could be the lurker and cause a little bit of a stir.
I certainly wouldn't put you off number 1, My Bestie. Good form over the track and trip. Craig Zaki from pole position for Glenn Cotton. Yes, he's a 7-year-old rising 8, but he's a 5-time winner. And he certainly could get back to winning ways. He's comfortable on a soft surface, so there's no reason why he shouldn't go well and improve on his recent form. Certainly 3 runs back, fourth behind double of 6, suggested he might be coming back to the kind of form where he could pick up a race of this nature, and he's down to a merit rating of 76, so he's got to be competitive in this class 4 off that rating. But this is a good race. 3, King's Quest, they backed him solidly last time out, from 11 to 2 into 9 to 4, and he delivered in no uncertain terms. He beat a Freak by a length and a half, and number 2, a Freak reopposes here, and Strictly at the weight should get a lot closer to number 3, King's Quest. But I got the feeling that number 3, King's Quest, won rather cozily last time and with something in hand. The money for number 5, Show Off, is interesting. He was comfortably beaten 4.5 lengths by King's Quest last time out, and I would expect King's Quest to again have the measure of number 5, Show Off, but it's never that easy. Races are not run on paper. 6, Belcanto Dream has done enough to suggest it could be a surprise package in the race. Number 7, War Chariot, stretches now out to 1,600 metres. Did not appear to get home over the 1,400 metres last time. Clearly he wasn't at his best. He was drawn hopelessly on that occasion. And War Chariot should do better here, but I'll sit on the fence with number 7, War Chariot, until he proves to me that he can go 1,600 metres. The ever-consistent number 9, Master of Paris, should be competitive. He's back in the Western Cape after a single run at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, in which he ran 3rd behind Shoot the Rapids. That wasn't a bad effort. We know that number 9, Master of Paris, is very game, very consistent, always does his best, and is likely to be in the mix for the minor placings. Number 10, Grand Canaria, stable companion to Master of Paris, races from the worst of the draw. His post-maiden effort wasn't good, but the form of his maiden win was quite nicely franked. Gavin Loreen is a notable bookie. Now, Grand Canary has always come with a bit of a reputation, but he'll need to step up on what he's shown us today to fulfill the early expectations that his connections had for number 10, Grand Canaria. So all in all, I'm in the camp of number 3, King's Quest, to follow up on his impressive last win. But it is a very competitive class 4, and I've gone pretty wide in this leg in the place accumulator.
Right, that'll take us on to the 7th and final event. And Graham, my device has gone on the blink here. It's not updating, so I'm going to have to hand the baton straight over to you.
Okay, so the 7th race is a D Stakes with an average merit rating of 60 over 1,600 metres. Number 1, Higher Water Goldberg, is at around 8 to 1. 2, St. Bridget at 2 to 1, 3, Ozark 9 to 2. The scratching is number 4, State Capital. That's come out. 5, Midway is at 22 to 10, and number 10, Miller Strength, is at 6 to 1. Now, Sheldon, I really like number 2, St. Bridget. I think this one could shape up as a potential banker, even if you're prepared to take the chance. Now, I say that, and yet when I present my place accumulator later on, you'll see that I've got numbers 2, 3, and 5. And the reason for that is that St. Bridget was meant to run over the weekend, was scratched with urticaria. I'm assuming she's all clear to run. She's not scratched at the time of recording, which is Monday morning, as you know. But my fear is that she might come out before race time. So racing fans need to monitor the platforms for the scratchings. But if number 2, St. Bridget, runs, I think that she's going to take a ton of beating. Yes, she's limited. This is a limited race. She's got the draw in her favour. She's got Elder DeMeo, Candice Bass-Robinson. Candice won the last 2 races on Super Sunday at Hollywoodbets Greyville. That was a fantastic achievement for her. So if she runs, I do think that number 2, St. Bridget, will take a ton of beating. The obvious dangers of numbers 3, Ozark, and 5, Midway, who finally got it right despite trying everything to get beat again. But Royal Dawn, again, did nothing to flatter that form in his subsequent start. 10 Miller Strength is there and thereabouts and threatening to win a race one of these days. Ozark is probably the biggest danger to number 2, St. Bridget. So if St. Bridget runs, I'll make her a tough nut to crack. But given the fact that she was scratched over the weekend, maybe that was maybe this is their preferred race, and that would be another further indication that this is the race that sort of sets up nicely for her. So if she runs, number 2, St. Bridget, for me is a clear first choice. I've covered her in the place accumulator just in case she doesn't run, because I certainly wouldn't, in the end, just want the tote favourite to be my sole choice in the final leg of the place accumulator, if indeed she is scratched. So it's a complicated story. Quite simply, if St. Bridget runs, I think she's tough to beat. Ozark would be the principal danger, then Midway. But of course, at the time of recording, I'm unsure as to whether she's certain to run.
Now, your suggested bet is the place accumulator for the day. Just before I hand over to you, I'm going to give the guys that horse My Bestie as my value bet on an each way bet, 20-1, and you can get around about 4-1 the fixed place. And I think there's going to be race time money for this horse. In fact, I think there's going to be anti-post support for number 1, My Bestie. So that's going to be my value each way selection for the day. And now, Graham, if you wouldn't mind taking us through your suggested bet.
Place accumulator starts with race 1, as does the bipod. First leg is off at 13.05. It's a juvenile plate. We'll banker the heavily supported number 7 Saudi Cat. Looks a very, very nice horse in the making. The second leg, perhaps I've gone too wide. Number 2 Swift Serenity, a firm favourite, and should certainly at least run a place. But I've covered it with numbers 3 Heritage Ridge and 7 Penny's Choice. I'm expecting a lot of improvement from number 7 Penny's Choice, first time blinkers. Third race, banker number 2, Sierra Sagrada, looks a pretty certain place accumulated bipod banker, although there could be improvement to come from number 3, Red Wave. The fourth leg, numbers 1, Surge of Power, and 5, Gimme Lightning. Interesting contest, that race. The fifth leg, numbers 8, 9, and 11. Here, Demoria is a clear favourite, but I'm throwing in number 8, Black Path, and number 11, Rosa Azaria. Penultimate leg, I know you fancy number 1, My Bestie. Doesn't form part of my place accumulator, but I can absolutely see your logic, and I can see it running into the money, certainly. But I'm going with numbers 2, Freak, 3, King's Quest, 6, Belcanto Dream, and the ever-consistent number 9, Master of Paris. But the very fact that I put 4 horses into that leg in a 10-horse field suggests that it is competitive, but King's Quest does appear to be heading in the right direction. As explained just a moment ago, in the last leg I've gone with numbers 2, St. Bridget, 3, Ozark, and 5, Midway. But if St. Bridget runs, I am expecting her to get the job done.
Well, thank you very much, Graham. It's always a pleasure having you on the line and giving us your valid input into the racing. And as you mentioned, My Bestie at 20-1, that's my roughie for the day. So for the guys out there, I can guarantee you the horse is going to start a little bit shorter. So get on, have a little bit of each way wager, and then play the place accumulator that Graham's given us. Have a great day, Graham, and hopefully the horses do it for us on the race course.
Thank you, Sheldon. It is very much a bread and butter 7-race program at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, but there is, as always, money to be made.
That's the name of the game, money to be made, and let's hope the horses do it on the track. So thanks very much to Graham Hawkins joining us on the line for the Kenilworth preview, Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Be at the track or not, get your bets on, and hopefully you end up in the winner's enclosure.